Good morning. It was tennis yesterday which dominated the coupons with football lacking. And the qualifiers, five setters in the men's game, suddenly changing from three to five setters. That caught me unawares, but it did provide traders with opportunities. For example, Pavlovich, 1.5, unpronounceable name, loses the first set, wins the second, in fact, goes on to win the match. So do look out for those kind of elements. We've got a possibility here as well. We've got a 2-1 to McCabe. Again, I do target Australians. I like the competitive nature of these Aussies. You can see there taking a set off Manarino, the opening set, and a nice fight back there. So more trades than were expected yesterday with that new format, the Grand Slam format. I'm just trying to format a mosquito while it's hovering over me. So Cazot losing the first set in a tiebreaker. That's always something to look out for. Fuchsovic, he Fuchsovic'd the first set and the second set. That's when you fight back 0-2 to 2-1 and nearly did so in the final set. His Wimbledon will not be occurring. 6-1, well, he was 2-1 down. Something I look for. Garin, 2-1 down, as you can see there. No panic. He must win the next set to stay in the qualifiers, which indeed he did. That's your trading angle. 2-1 to 2-2. Here, 1.5. Misolic, 2-1 down. Couldn't win that third set. Oh no, he did. Sorry, my mistake. 1-0 down. Won the second set in the tiebreaker, third set in the tiebreaker. So this Hassan, punching above his weight or above market expectation. Stewart against Riedel. My angle, which I mentioned to you yesterday, he's a Brit at Wimbledon. Okay, I expect him to be competitive. But the market expects Reedy at 1.14 to do a demolition job. Why not lay Reedy after winning the first set, or lay 3-0 Reedy if the odds are short enough as a trading outcome? But the set betting market is a little illiquid. Q, Stewart's comeback to make it 1-1. Very convenient, low odds. You'd have got a nice swing in the odds there. But I don't think the market would have been panicking too much, would it? Because it's the five-setter. Tave against Blocks. Won the first set, 2.38 Brit. That's what I'm looking for. And then we get the fight back from Blocks. 1-1. But Tarvet going through. Well done, Tarvet. Manarino, 1.4 favourite, loses the first set, goes on and wins 3-1. That's what we will be looking for at Wimbledon proper. I love five-setter men's games. So many angles. Basilashvili was one yesterday. No, maybe the day before. Winning trade. So let's work our way down. Any others in the WTA? Expecting a bit more. We're expecting a three-setter really, but we got as much as we could get with that 7-6. Montgomery, very, very competitive. 1.8, 1.91 didn't turn into a three-setter this one, did it? So I wonder if there's a way for us to determine, perhaps with the first set stats, whether this is a good candidate for a three-setter. Seidel and Fett. No trading angle really, but we did get a 2-1. Giacomo and Cornet. You would have actually made a profitable trade here. So I was watching what I did in this match. Cornet was staying on serve. Two French women meeting each other. 1.3 favourite Giacomo. I was expecting it to be competitive because they're French ladies. Cornet has been around the block, no offence to her. Very, a veteran status, solid player. Very competitive first set. So much so that Cornet's 2-0 set betting odds dropped far below what they were expected to be. Relatively high still for me as a lay, something like 4.5 to 5. But value is in the eye of the beholder. That was without the first set even being clinched at 5-5. I laid Cornet. Thankfully, Giacomo won the first set, guaranteeing me a return. Appleton lost the first set, won the second. That's our trading angle, 1.732. That's what we're hoping for, a three-setter in a competitive market. At Eastbourne yesterday, Harris tried his best in the first set, but went down in a tiebreaker, and then Humbert at 1.25 just put the foot on the gas, 6-1. Brooksby and Evans was expecting a three-setter, but something up with Danny Evans yesterday, only winning 5 games in at Eastbourne. Davidic Fekino, I told you this Mensic is gettable. Should have laid him at the off, shouldn't I? You can. You have permission to take the market on. Don't forget that. And in Mallorca, in a very competitive day where 3 matches were expected to go the distance, we didn't have any. We had a 2-0, 2-0, and a 2-0. That's the problem with these even Stevens. They're a bit like 2.4, the favourite matches. Anything can happen because the market can't pick a winner. I'm expecting, because the market can't pick a winner, that it will be a three-setter, logically. But no, the three-setter occurred in Algo Elisiem's match, which you should have targeted because he is the absolute standout performer in Mallorca. He just stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't he? Bad Homburg, we're only looking at the Americans, Pegula and Navarro, hoping for a three-setter there, which indeed we got. Pegula, the odds-on favourite, winning the first set, losing the second. I'm expecting competitive tennis. Same with Pavlyuchenkova and Rakhimova, 2 fellow countrywomen at Eastbourne. That ended up being a three-setter as well. That's the kind of angle I look for. Very, very quiet there yesterday on the footballing front. But let's have a look at today's football, and it's a lot more robust. Start with the Finnish Veikkausliiga, and we've got one of what I term derby-style matches. KUPS against HJK Helsinki. It's a great match when the K on your keyboard doesn't work. This one, and your surname's Keeling as well. Oh, the Labours. KUPS against HJK. KUPS, the wheels have suddenly fallen off. They've failed to score in the last 4 matches. It's very unlike, and they're still top of the league, or thereabouts. HJK lost the first 3 matches of the season. I told you back then, watch out for a possible bite from HJK, and indeed they're unbeaten since. Momentum is certainly with HJK, but this is a clash of the Titans. It's one of those, it's like playing, let's say, Liverpool and Man City. You just can't weigh up which team is the dominant force. Going on to the Irish Premier Division, Gunistan and Interturku. Well, let's have a quick look at that one. Only 2 losses in 9 for Gunistan in Finland is perhaps the reason why Interturku, who are unbeaten this season, are relatively decent, 1.7 away favourite. That for me looks a tad value, and indeed the odds are dropping. I would expect Interturku to dominate this match against Gunistan today, but they are in good recent form, Gunistan. They might put up something of a barrier. KUPS HJK, far too tough to call pre-match. Let it play out via the in-play stats, or don't play at all. Or play the fact that KUPS are having trouble scoring. Will they follow up if they score first? Let's move on to Ireland. Full coupon in the Premier Division and First Division. It's becoming a league I quite like, the Irish. It's becoming nice and readable. And as traders, we like readable football. So let's begin with Bohemians against Sligo Rovers. They're in a spot of form. 3 consecutive home wins, Bohs. Clean sheets as well at home. Ticking all of the boxes. 1.38 home favourites. Sligo Rovers just tend to lose against the top 6 away from home. I can't see an upset Bohemians and Sligo this evening. I would be strongly favouring Bohs to bounce and gain momentum from that win over Shamrock Rovers recently. Cork City and St Pat's, it's one to watch behind the sofa, this one. Cork City do have a both teams to score record at home. They are newly promoted, but they've only conjured up 3 or 4 wins all season. St Pat's, though, if we're looking at ultra recent form, they're having real trouble scoring, even with home advantage. It makes for a messy match on paper. As traders, we want readability. Like Bohemians, we do not want to muddy the waters and try to dig our way out. So Cork City and St Pat's, I'm not too sure how to play this. If you're not sure, you don't have to play. The bookies, the market makers, have to make up every match. We don't have to play every match. That's our advantage. Derry City against Drogs, 1.73 home favourite. Already like those odds for a home favourite. 1.5 to 1.7 tend to be robust home favourites and good trading friends. They don't tend to lose, but they could draw. So we'll be looking on that with interest there. Derry and Drogs. Again, it's a messy match when doing the research. Both teams have a consistent problem scoring that second goal. It does open the door up, particularly Drogheda. If Drogheda score first, have faith in the 1.73 home favourite equalising. That would be a key angle. Trouble scoring that second goal, both Derry and Drogheda. That's just puts a spanner in the works of the 7.45. Galway and Shelburne, 2.63 for the favourite. Should already have you thinking in play stats or not at all. Those odds are very, very high for a favourite in a football match, suggesting the market cannot split Galway or Shelburne. With only one loss home and away against teams below them in the league, Shelburne just slightly advantaged on challenge table form. Shamrock Rovers are at home to Waterford. This is a redemption style match. I would not expect Shamrock Rovers to get a second consecutive defeat. That's not in their DNA. Playing a decent enough Waterford as far as getting that result is concerned. Irish First Division, 4 matches this evening. Athlone against Bray, 2.14 away favourites Bray. Trust issues with Bray, sporadic defeats away from home, coming out of nowhere. So, which Bray turns up? They do have an absolutely outstanding both teams to score pattern for you neutral players. And I do recommend you have a look at neutrals in these lower tier summer leagues. Dundalk against Cove Ramblers. I think we got that loss last match for Dundalk. 1.92 home favourite. Unbeaten in 10 at home, Dundalk. But Cove Ramblers coming into this with 10 wins in 12 matches. Have they re-signed Roy Keane? This is a top 2 clash. It means that Cove Ramblers cannot be readily discounted, particularly with 10 wins in 12. It's just outstanding. 2 very, very much informed sides. The sole defeat all season for Dundalk last match. Will they bounce back this evening? Will they tolerate 2 consecutive defeats? Treaty United have caught my eye early season in the First Division, but they failed to score last match. They are 1.54 home favourites today. The market is not expecting them to disappoint. 100% home wins v 6th and lower for Treaty United, and a Finn Harps struggling to find that second goal. That's something I look for as a trader, because if Finn Harps score first, are they really going to score that second consecutive goal? If not, that's our trading angle. Take on Finn Harps with insurance. Wexford against Kerry. Kerry in pretty decent nick. They've only lost to the top 2 in the last 8 matches. 3.72 outsiders to Wexford today. Watch out. Kerry are on the improve. Beautiful part of the world I used to live in, County Kerry, in Killarney and Castle Island. Beautiful. Head-to-heads. Both teams have scored in the head-to-heads. 5th against 7th. Kerry have beaten 5th and 6th away, but that's not the norm. Normally they concede 3 or 4 goals. So, in-play stats, I think, just to determine which Kerry turns up. The one who gets tonked or the competitive Kerry. The Swedish Superettan. Braga against Sandviken. That's 2.4 the favourite. So already you're on the alert that this might not be a trading candidate. Could be a good neutral candidate. With 3 out of 3 away defeats against the top 11, Sandviken might struggle today, but the market is giving them a chance. Varberg against Utsikten. Let's have a look at this one. 1.55 home favourite. We've got 100% wins for teams below them in the league at home, Varberg. We've got Utsikten, who despite being 5 decimal odds outsiders, are unbeaten since the first 3 matches of the season. But it's a touch of draw-itis for Utsikten. I still think if you're unbeaten, psychologically, that's something to bring into this match away at Varberg, where the market's giving Utsikten no chance. Very strong Utsikten angles, both teams to score, and a goal before half-time. Those are the matches today. We are heading, tennis-wise, ever nearer to the start of the Grand Slam. You're already getting a taster for these 5 setters in the qualifiers yesterday. But today we have Eastbourne as we get deeper. Fritz against Davidic Fokina could be very good indeed. I did tell you about Davidic Fokina yesterday. Dismissed by the market, winning in 2. This Mosquito is going to get dismissed by the market in a second if he doesn't leave me alone. Yeah, bar steward. So I could see Taylor Fritz being gettable, particularly if Taylor Fritz wins the first set. Griekspoor and Agro Lyceum. I wouldn't expect Agro Lyceum to lose in 2 straight sets. That would be my angle in Mallorca. Corentin Moutet against Mickelson. I would expect Corentin Moutet to play above the 2.5 quote he's been given there. Moutet and Agro Lyceum, 2 standouts at Mallorca. Big names relative to the tournament. Iga Swiatek in Bad Homburg is the usual 1.33 favourite. Pegula and Nostova, 1.8 and evens. The market can't split these 2. Is it going to be a 3-setter, or is one of these 2 going to win in 2 straight sets? We do have previews available in Bad Homburg at tennis24.com, so do have a read of those. Joint against Pavlyuchenkova. I've been following Joint the last 2 days, so to speak. Live in Thailand. Weed is legal, so I have been following M Joint from Eastbourne. She hasn't been stoned in her last 2 matches, that's for sure. Coming through as underdog. 1.73 the favourite, and Australian as well. I think she's the one who beat Emma Raducanu, by the way. Joint, so that is a huge mental boost for her as well. That's one I'd be starring at midday for Joint being competitive. So if Pavlyuchenkova wins or the first set, I think Pavlyuchenkova will be layable. Plenty of interesting tennis this evening. Starting soon for Wimbledon. It'll be Monday, I would suspect. Haven't got the coupon up yet. Busy day today. It is my day off ordinarily. Certainly on a day off, 7:45s might not be up for it. But I have been doing some late nights of late coding using Google AI Studio, creating a football consensus trader, which will hoover up all of the free tips that are available online, collate them into like a hive mind, which will tell us the most popular tips and whether we can use them contrary for trading or whether they are actually have a reasonable strike rate. Plenty of other, I've got an in-play stat scanner working on Firebase Studio, trying to use freely available stats. If I can use freely available stats online, then this scanner can be free, can't it? Because it's the data feed, which is the reason why subscriptions are needed. So plenty going on in the background. I've also got to tidy up the football testing lab. We haven't looked at the performance of those 0-0s before half time for a while. I'll be updating that, perhaps give you something to have a think about if I do an e-letter video later on today. So have a great day. I hope to see you later on. As I say, I've been doing a few late nights, so members of Football Trading Profits relative to living in Thailand, 7:45 for me is a late kickoff. But there's plenty to be getting on. Varberg in particular stand out at 6 o'clock for me as a readable match. Into Turkey at 4 o'clock in the Veikkausliiga, unbeaten this season. That's well worth pinning your hopes on. KUPS and HJK at 6 o'clock, too competitive. Too many big names meeting each other. It's a derby style match. Could see form lines thrown out the window. Indeed, I didn't actually research the match because I can't see the point from my experience in these derby matches. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.